Let's go! You might hate Hugh Freeze, but he just made by far the most important offseason comment in all of college football. I want you to listen closely and don't shoot down this idea he has for the spring game.
The solution is allow us to scrimmage somebody on a day, another team. And I think everybody would get out of it exactly what they want. And if everybody's doing that, then, and let's adopt a charity to give all the proceeds to. Let's take foster care in the state of Alabama or orphan care in the state of Alabama, and let's Alabama play Troy and we play UAB or vice versa or whoever, I don't care, or Alabama State or whoever, and people will come see that. And you're decreasing your injury possibilities by 50%. And coaches are smart enough to control, we're not going to hit each other's quarterbacks. We practice that way. And if you want to put a blue jersey or a different jersey on somebody that's don't take to the ground, we can do that. And I just think it would be great for the sport. I think it would be awesome. NFL gets to scrimmage against others. High schools get to scrimmage against each others. And I just, for the life of me, I don't understand why we haven't gotten to that point where we can pull that off and do something that would be helpful to some organization in each state. And if every state did this, then we could make an impact on some people that need it. And that would be my idea. And until that happens, I think all of us are going to be very guarded. Number one, you don't want to get anybody hurt. And you know that everybody's probably videotaping your signalers and everything else that's going on. So you just... it's just kind of an uncomfortable day. So what do I want to get out of it? I want our fans to be excited about the momentum that is being created here. Do we have still a ways to go? Yes. But that doesn't mean we can't be excited about where we are currently. And somehow I've got to try to figure out a way that I want all of those things to occur. And that's not easy.
Alrighty, so I have a lot of thoughts about this, but if you just want to hear my immediate reaction to that long clip from Hugh Freeze, and I am a big believer, if a coach is saying something very bold, such as that, you allow him to fully articulate his points. I know that was a 2+ minute clip of audio, but he made a lot of really good points. And before I continue, I understand that Hugh Freeze isn't the most popular coach out there, very problematic past, and look, I don't fully agree with what this man has done in his career. I don't think anybody has, but he makes an excellent point, and this is something that I have been talking about for years, okay? And it's not necessarily just a spring game scrimmage, but just the uniqueness of how college football is structured to every other sport that is out there. Notice, Hugh Freeze made a very interesting point in the middle, that in high school football, you scrimmage versus other teams a lot, right? You have a few preseason, like, tackle scrimmages, just depending on where you are, but you also have 7-on-7. You also have jamborees. And in the NFL, they have not only preseason games, but they also do cross-practicing with other teams. College football is the only version of football where you have no version of a spring season or a preseason. You have no version of a scrimmage versus another team that is not your own. And by the way, you have the highest leverage games in all of sports. Let me repeat. College football games are the most important regular season games in all of sports. So, if that is the case, we especially need it to be where a college football team is allowed to have a quote-unquote preseason game, a dress rehearsal, because it is still wild to me that losses matter more in college football, and there are no warm-ups. There are no chances for you to see your guys go up against a different team. And I think that's part of the reason why college coaches struggle picking out who the best players on their teams actually are, okay? As many of you know, I am an LSU YouTuber, okay? And it is amazing how different Brian Kelly's team looked in week 1 compared to even week 3. And that's because they had not seen them play anybody. You can't really see anything just in regular scrimmages. So I like this idea. I don't like this idea. I love it. And yes, once again, not the biggest fan of Hugh Freeze, but this just makes too much sense, especially if you do it for charity. Up to this point, the biggest thing that has happened from Auburn's spring is Cam Newton participating in a pro day. Other than that, it has been very ho-hum and boring, okay? So, before you knock Hugh Freeze, just don't shoot the messenger. Listen to the message. He is right, okay? And this would be great exposure, not only for the athletes themselves. By the way, don't think of how mentally taxing it is for an athlete to practice in the same location every day, go up against the same people every day, and not actually get to hit somebody from other teams. Once again, all these teams. Remember, football is not some sport that you could just go play pickup somewhere. You have to play in an actual setting, and this gives an opportunity for other athletes to go up against other athletes from other schools, right? It is just ridiculous to me that college football is quite literally the only sport where it is like this. So, I am a big believer in this. I really am. So comment down below your thoughts. Would you be in favor of a spring scrimmage, right? And like you said, you could set your parameters. Don't take down our quarterbacks. Don't, hit our quarterbacks. Could we do some off-season 7-on-7 tournaments and air it on YouTube or the SEC network or something like that? I don't know. And I just hate the overall secretive nature of college football, just in general, right? College football is the only sport where you really can't get access to all 22 footage. College football is the only sport where quite literally the scheduling of just everything is very, very, very imbalanced. It is. There's so many issues I have with how the sport is structured, even though I absolutely love it. But I honestly think this is one of the biggest things holding it back. Let these players scrimmage other players. And I understand there wasn't everything I agreed with what Hugh Freeze just said there. I'm not necessarily sure injuries go down by 50%. I understand what he's saying because, you're going up against a different team instead of your own team. So instead of having 11 of your players on the field, you have 22. I get what he's saying, 50% there, but still, injuries happen, and that's just part of it, and injuries still happen in spring games the way things are now. So I am totally down with this idea. So let me know. I understand we have a bunch of different fan bases that watch this channel, and I know I've gone into it with Auburn a few times on here. There's Cadillac. I love me some Cadillac Williams. So yeah, you guys let me know down below what you believe on this topic, okay? And let me know if you guys have any content ideas. Do you want to see more film studies? Just let me know. I'm always down. Now, here's what's really cool. At the end of this video, I want to share with you something that kind of went under the radar over this past weekend. Shout out to my LSU Tigers winning the Women's National Championship. But floating in your face right now, one school accused an in-state rival of cheating. Interesting. That'll be floating in your face right now. It is Power Hour SEC. Bam! And tonight we are doing chicken enchiladas night 2. Let's go.